What's going on, everybody? Josh Callaway here alongside Ryan Chapman, John Hoover at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, the site now of Oklahoma's season opener against Tulane on Saturday. You can maybe hear some leaf blower stuff. They're hurrying to get this stadium ready for Oklahoma to host Tulane this weekend after the game was relocated due to Hurricane Ida. It was a crazy last 48 hours or so as the game got moved here to Norman, but we do know there will be football here on the field behind us in just 4 days, which is kind of crazy. So anyway, we got to hear from Lincoln Riley today. His weekly presser, Alex Grinch, will start with, obviously, Riley. He talked about the running back situation. Obviously, Trey Bradford gone. He back in the portal. Riley said he didn't really know what happened there. Running back situation, I'll start with you, John. Obviously, a lot of unknowns behind the really good duo at the top. Lincoln talked about it today.
Lincoln talked about being caught off guard, being caught by surprise. When asked, hey, kind of what happened, Coach, he said, I don't know what happened. I don't have an explanation. I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys, but I don't have an explanation for what happened. It was a weird deal. Trey Bradford comes to Oklahoma in June, transfers from LSU, and by mid-August, late third week August, he's transferring back, or he's transferring out of Oklahoma. He's in the transfer portal. He's off the roster. Lincoln Riley made some pretty straightforward quotes today. He said, we swung, we missed, and we made a mistake. So you talk about the depth at running back at Oklahoma. You got Eric Gray now as one of the co-starters. You got Kennedy Brooks as one of the co-starters. Lincoln today talked about liking the depth behind those guys. Even though it's not Trey Bradford, even though Marcus Major's academically ineligible, he talked about the walk-ons, and he talked about moving other guys into that position. You got to spread the football around. Some of the wide receivers, some of the H-backs, some of the tight ends. So I think they're going to get by this week and certainly next week. But we'll see, as the season progresses. It's a physical position, the running back position. And they hung a lot on relying on Trey Bradford. Now they're disappointed he's not going to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see those walk-ons, Knowles and Hudson, what they do. And Eric Gray said that, I don't know if we already knew this, but Todd Hudson wants to be a pilot. Weatherman and pilot, I need some kind of nickname. I'm putting that challenge out to everybody. We need a nickname for that duo. All right. The other kind of big story, at least in our mind, that came from today was Lincoln Riley talked about offensive line, like what the plan is there. He revealed some starters, not all. Ryan, some takeaways from that, because there was some noteworthy parts of that for sure.
Yeah, so let's start with what we do know. The left guard spot, Marquise Hayes, that's going to be the guy. We kind of thought that, no surprise there. And then what we've kind of been hearing about Tyrese Robinson moving to right tackle, that would facilitate Chris Murray at right guard. So it sounds like that's what's going to happen there.
Right.
You're going to see Robinson start at right tackle, Murray start at right guard. So the two positions we don't know, center, we all thought it was going to be Andrew Rain. That's kind of what we've been feeling. It was an Andrew Rain or Rob Conjal situation. So either that battle, which is good news, I guess, it continues to wage on with what we've heard about Rain, or maybe that's the old kick in the boot, hey, youngster, you got this, but we still want to keep that going. So that leaves left tackle. You got a list of oars. They're rowing a boat there. It's Anton Harrison or Eric Swinson or Wanye Morris. So that'll be, I think, the position to watch. I think that regardless of what we see on this field on Saturday, Rain's going to be the guy going forward at center. So we still got left tackle problems. That's what we're looking for. So that's what we're going to be tracking a whole lot as Tulane comes to town here this Saturday.
Yeah, and you have to assume that we'll get a depth chart, an official one, either today, tomorrow. I mean, sometime in the very near future, you have to assume.
Maybe next week.
You think next after Tulane? That would be different for sure. So we'll see how things shake out and what they actually trot out there on Saturday in this opener here in the field behind us. Obviously, we got to hear from Alex Grinch as well. He kind of touched on a lot of different things. Ryan, just any takeaways, I guess, from Alex Grinch talking about the defense ahead of the opener?
Yeah, the first thing is he still wants consistency from those youngsters in the secondary. To me, that says the corners, guys like Woody Washington, DJ Graham. So he still needs that kind of consistency. Then he put that on himself. He was like, that's my position group, so I'm kind of talking to me here. The other things to kind of run through, nickelback, we'd heard coming out of spring into the summer that Jeremiah Cordell's a guy that's really made some leaps and bounds progression. Well, it sounds like he was kind of nicked up, giving Billy Bowman a chance to get a lot of those reps. So that sounds like a battle that's going to wage on. And then when he was asked about the defensive line and the depth in that front seven, and as he settled in, he basically said, we've settled in on rotating a lot. So it sounds like that depth is legit. It's not going to be this, you hear about all these guys in the spring and the summer, and then it's, 5 guys and that's it. No, it sounds like that you're going to see that depth this season. So interesting to kind of shake out, but I feel like we pretty much know a lot more of the defense outside of here or there. What's the split's going to be at reps at cornerback? Who's going to be the nickelback?
Absolutely. So one thing we all are, we're excited. Football is finally really back. Today felt like season. Lincoln Riley and Grinch having their pressers and everything. Good stuff. We got you completely locked down, covered on allsooners.com. You can watch all the press conferences. You can read tons of stuff. Our podcast throughout the week. Make sure you keep up with that. We're going to record that tomorrow. Everything you could want, we have it on allsooners.com and at SI Sooners on Twitter. So for John Hoover and Ryan Chapman, I'm Josh Callaway. Sooners open the season in 4 days at Gaylord Family Oak Memorial Stadium against Tulane.